First at 4. Video of this bowling alley attack is very tough to watch. But today, the final defendant is sentenced, and we'll talk about that battle over how much time he should spend behind bars. Are you tired of what you pay for auto insurance? The Michigan Senate just did something that could bring some relief. We'll take a look at the newest plan. Hey, Paula.
Hi, Karen. Just in case you thought the flooding was over, it is not. We are with the Red Cross as they are distributing comfort, care, and much-needed cleaning supplies. Ben, we've got a live report coming up.
Yeah, and Paula, as the rain moves out, the flood warnings go up. We're not watching for just rain, but wind tomorrow could be the biggest problem. It's all right now. First at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4. The second man convicted in that vicious attack of a bowling ball employee learned how long he will be behind bars. Brandon Moore was sentenced to 9 months in the Macomb County Jail. Last October, he, along with Quentin Kaiser, viciously attacked the employee with a bowling ball at the Apollo Lanes in Roseville. During the sentencing, Moore's lawyer asked for the lower sentence, saying Moore was trying to resolve the fight, but prosecution opposed.
This was a savage assault. Even though this defendant wasn't the man who hit the complaining witness with a bowling ball, he did in fact kick him several times in the face.
You went behind the counter, smiling, tapping the complainant on the shoulder in a very friendly manner, and then you viciously attacked him.
The judge expressed reluctance but agreed with the 9-month sentence, but that will not include time served. Moore was also given 2 years probation. We have a Local 4 update today on that top story we had yesterday. We told you about the search for a man accused of holding a knife to the throat of a 7-year-old girl during a robbery. Now that suspect, 57-year-old Melon Saroof, is in custody. Police say he turned himself in last night. He's accused of robbing a mother and her daughter in a Meijer parking lot in Pittsfield Township on Sunday while they were loading groceries into their car. He should make his first court appearance very soon, and we will be there. Detroit Police Chief James Craig speaking out today about a shooting in Greektown that injured 3 people. 1 man is in custody, but 3 others remain on the loose this afternoon. The shooting happened early Monday morning near Monroe and Beaubien. Police say 4 men shot into the crowd, all part of a disagreement they had with the victims. Police have identified one of the suspects. Take a look at your screen right now. That's Delano Ward of Farmington Hills. The chief has some really strong words for Ward and anyone looking to bring trouble into the city.
He needs to turn himself in. We know who he is. Do yourself a favor and just turn yourself into the Detroit Police Department. And the message should be clear. Don't come to Detroit and settle beefs violently. We will find you.
If you know Ward or you know where he is at, call Detroit Police. If rain washed out some baseball games last night, your team should have better luck tonight. That is, unless the fields are just drenched. It's a mess out there, Ben.
Yeah, those grounds not getting any drier, that's for sure. It hadn't been a ton of rain today, but we do have flooding problems, and they're all on the east side. We'll start with a flood warning for the south end of St. Clair County. Algonac, Harsons Island, there's already some buildings getting flooded there from the high levels of the St. Clair River. So that's until 2:45 on Friday. That's going to last a while. Lakeshore flood warnings have been posted in advance of the winds tomorrow. This is from 8 a.m. Wednesday through 8 a.m. Thursday, so a full 24 hours. We get that onshore flow, and there could be flooding there. And advisories posted from St. Clair County to Sand Lake for the same reason of those east winds coming off the lake tomorrow. We're finally seeing an end to tonight's rain. Just a couple sprinkles left in the south zone. It's coming back tomorrow, and the heaviest of that is just around the corner. So we'll look at that in just a few minutes. Karen?
Ben, and it has been nearly 1 week since heavy rains led to this disastrous flooding in several Metro Detroit communities. For those of us not affected, it's easy to forget many of our neighbors are still dealing with this, their lives turned upside down. The Red Cross has not forgotten. Our Paula Tutman followed ongoing efforts to bring relief and get more information on how bad the damage is. So, Paula, where do things stand right now?
Okay, so I'm at the Ecorse Fire Department, and right here you can see there's kind of a comfort and care and a cleaning kit station. They have these sprinkled throughout different flood areas in many different communities. I just kind of want to give you a quick look inside one of these pails. They've got sponges, they've got a couple of different things. We kind of determined it's about $50 worth of supplies, and when you are tapped out physically, emotionally, and financially, this is a huge deal. Determining the scale of this particular disaster is tricky because while some of the flooding was extremely easy to see,
Turned a corner, made the wrong turn at Southfield and Allen Road, and the neighborhoods in Allen Park were just covered with the things that they had to take out of their basements.
much of it snuck up from below, flooding basements, leaving sewage, starting mold, ruining lives, littering sidewalks.
48 years in this home, so we have a lot of storage from our children as well as ourselves, some inheritance from my parents who passed a few years back, so it's a lot.
Today, the Red Cross set up stations in Ecorse, Allen Park, and Lincoln Park to give away cleaning supply kits.
A mop is in there. There's also a cleaning product that will be an antibacterial. There are gloves.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
And while a bucket of gloves, some cleaner, and masks might seem like very little, when you're looking at thousands of dollars in life-altering damage,
It was everywhere. It was knee-high. The freezer isn't working. The dryer isn't heating up.
it's a lot in terms of emotional support, and the all-encompassing every little bit helps.
Let's see what they got from me. Oh, okay.
When you've lost so very much. In Ecorse, Victoria says she has seen several devastating flood events within the last 5 years. And so there's also an emotional toll, weariness. Enough is enough.
So now I just need to basically sanitize with a few of the items that they gave me.
And there are reports that the scammers are out too, charging thousands for cleanup. While at Christ Family Church, 40 volunteers, muckers, waiting word from official referrals to clean out and treat basements for mold for free. But the Red Cross needs to know who needs the help in order to record it, connect with relief partners, and give that referral.
Depending on what the needs are, we want to know how best to distribute those emergency supplies.
Okay, and that's a really important piece of this because honestly, no matter what your damage is, the city, whatever city you live in, and the Red Cross really need to know. They need to record these numbers. They need to make sure they have the right data so that they can actually coordinate these kinds of responses. Karen?
All right, thank you, Paula. And now we've got some breaking news from Wall Street where the Dow Jones has been tumbling. Take a look at the big board. We told you yesterday it would be a bumpy week because of escalating trade tensions with China. President Trump wants a deal by Friday and is threatening new tariffs. Investors are nervous. Latest numbers in right now, the Dow down 473 points as it has just closed about 7 minutes ago. Of course, it could be a wild week ahead. We'll be following this story very closely. Meantime, battle lines are being drawn and both sides are digging in as President Trump faces off with House Democrats. There are several key issues that will likely end up in the courts in these bitter battles. For the latest, let's get to Devin Scillian. And Devin, a key Senate Republican trying to shut this whole thing down.
Exactly right, Karen. We're going to hear from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell in just a second. But first, let's take a look at where things stand on several fronts. First, the White House has ordered former counsel Don McGahn not to comply with a subpoena for documents asserting executive privilege in the matter. You'll recall McGahn, a key player in the Robert Mueller report. He claims the president ordered him to fire Mueller and that McGahn refused. The House Judiciary Committee is going to hold a contempt hearing now tomorrow, targeting the Attorney General for refusing to hand over the unredacted Mueller report. Also, a follow-up from yesterday, the Treasury Department says it will not hand off the president's tax returns, saying that it serves no legislative purpose. Senator McConnell, meanwhile, says the Mueller investigation should be over and done with. Not surprisingly, Democrats do not agree.
2 years of exhaustive investigation and nothing to establish the fanciful conspiracy theory that Democratic politicians and TV talking heads had treated like a foregone conclusion.
So our leader says, let's move on. It's sort of like Richard Nixon saying, let's move on at the height of the investigation of his wrongdoing. Of course, he wants to move on. He wants to cover up. He wants to silence on one of the most serious issues we face.
Right now, it's up to House Democrats to decide just how aggressively they want to pursue each of the issues that I mentioned. Court battles, of course, could take months or even years, which would give President Trump time to focus on re-election. So more from Washington coming up on Local 4 News at 5. Karen, back to you.
All right, we'll see you then, Devin. Still ahead, many of us complain about the high cost of auto insurance in Michigan. We're going to take a look about a new bill that makes some key changes that could bring you some relief. Celebrity visitor for Julian Assange, why this Baywatch beauty says she's standing behind the founder of WikiLeaks. Those stories right after the break. Later, the royal baby guessing game. We'll talk about the new front runners when it comes to naming baby Sussex. Stay with us.